Warning! Hashtag DDP Live is for an adult audience. Hashtag DDP Live may contain material that may be unsuitable for sensitive ears. If you are easily offended, run to your panic room now. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Thank you. Please come again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
It is, ladies and gentlemen, the very first running of the hashtag DDP Live here in the Longbox.FM studios, brought to you, of course, by the sweet, angelic, beautiful man that he is, Dan Riley and Riley's Brewing.
Thanks, Riley.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that's kept me running for the last 8 months is as I sit in my pit of despair and shallowness, as I'm like, I want to show another drink of Riley's. So you've kept me alive. Thank you, Mr. Riley's.
Hey, whatever I can do for you. Almost anything I can do for you.
So, excitement. We've been doing a little practice, a rehearsal, figuring out what we want to do. It is a brand new show, a brand new crew. We'll get around to the names here in a second, but for all those who are tuning in for the very first time, you guys know all the things you can do. Hit us up, 492-0450. You can hit up Skype. Longbox.FM, Longbox.FM, I believe, is the address. Whatever, you can figure it out. Cotty is running the YouTube chat room, and I'll be monitoring the Facebook one. So hit us up with any questions you want. We got a big fat show tonight that we are going to be doing. We are going to talk about high-speed rail. We are going to play a game. It's called Beer Friday on a Wednesday, and we've got awards wrap up at the end of the show. And of course, Anthony's bringing in his his Clambake. It's just the Clambake.
It's
these
just
days.
the Clambake now. There's no celebrity or anything. It's just Clambake.
Yeah, that's how we show evolution. We lose words, much like age. So, lots of that stuff going on. But let's go right to the very first thing. I'm going to introduce everyone by this. Let's go with things we learned this week.
Now, it's time to showcase what we have learned in the last week.
And I'm going to start it off with the man who joined us most recently, who has under his belt 14 straight years of People's Choice Award for Most Amazing Man on Radio.
Yeah.
Chris Nieto.
I think it was 15, actually. I mean, don't sell me short. What did I learn this week? I'll tell you what I learned, that sleepovers are much more fun for the kids than they are for the parents that are hosting them, okay? My son turned 9 this week, and so we had a sleepover, and that meant that there were 8 kids at my house, aged between 9 and 11, and they don't sleep, man. They don't sleep. They are loud and screechy, and I wish we had met sooner, because I could have drowned some of my sorrows, I think, and enveloped myself in the next round of Netflix, but gracious. Does that mean I more proof that I'm becoming the older guy in the room? Is it time to just get off my lawn, or what is it?
Again, other reason why you're a part of the show, I needed someone older than me. And
yes.
Thank you. So,
yeah, well, I'm here. Yeah, here for you.
The one who owns my heart, at least financially, and in the future once we get the vows all done. You guys remember Cotty. Well, you may not remember Cotty from the old show, because she never talked until she drank enough of Riley's vodka. And then she would the inner ghetto thug life Mexican inside of her would snap on every single person in the room for no reason whatsoever. That is, of course, Cotty. Hey, babe, what have you learned this week?
Well, speaking of wedding, I've been basically screening songs for I really want to dance to this at the wedding. And one thing that usually people think of, hip hop or rap or whatever. Oh no, that's too graphic. Talking about ass and titties or whatever. And so there's these Spanish cumbia songs, and the more I listen, I'm like, damn, these are all about sex. That's so weird. And one in particular is called 17 Years. And it's basically about a grown-ass man talking about a 17-year-old girlfriend. I'm like, how is this okay?
Is that an R. Kelly song or no?
No.
At least half of the audience won't even get what they're saying, so don't
Yeah.
even
It's
worry
so
about it.
weird. Like, you're dancing to it, having a good time, and then you're like, oh, wait, what? No.
Yeah.
No.
What are you singing about? No, I don't want to dance anymore.
Yeah, no.
It's
I
sweet.
don't
Well,
stand for
that's
that.
what I learned. Sometimes Spanish cumbia is...
But it's sweet when it's spoken in a different language.
Well, yeah, they make it sound all romantic and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
Statutory, romantic.
My old coworker, until just a couple weeks ago, I picked him up. I don't know how you ended up following me.
Yeah, it's like a lost puppy.
Yeah, I
I
just
kind of followed the...
left a trail of bottle caps for you. Got you here. Anthony, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Nice to be on the mic, I guess, in here with some wisdom from both sides, right? Since I guess I am the younger one here, so...
And you will be picked on for that. So hit us with what you learned.
I learned that while Game of Thrones fans are pretty annoying with just constantly talking about the show, what's worse is people who don't watch Game of Thrones. Because all they have to do is just go around and they just say, all they talk about is how they don't watch Game of Thrones. You bring up anything about that, they're like, nah, let me tell you why Game of Thrones is terrible. And just goes off, rant. And I'm not dealing with that anymore.
You have a good point, man. Whenever a show gets good, I hate the people who make it a personal point of pride because they've never seen the show. They obviously have to be the ones who hated it. And I'm definitely not one of those except for Titanic. Titanic, it's the stupidest movie ever, and I've never seen it. I've made the decision, and Cotty's tried to make me watch it, and it will not happen.
one night, a lot of Rileys involved.
Yeah, it'd have to be a lot. You might not remember it, but you might watch it.
It will happen.
She got me to break on Harry Potter, so... Mr. Riley, our guest tonight, owner of Riley's Brew Pub, owner of Riley's Brewing, owner of Steel Structures, and owner of High Speed Rail's Ass, which we'll get into a little bit later. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Angelic, apparently, according to you. That's kind of...
I like to dress things up in a pretty way.
Absolutely.
Did you learn anything this week?
I did. Apparently... I've listened to your Game of Thrones fan, so I read the book, and then the show didn't make any sense, so I quit watching the show. So I'm a pseudo fan.
Oh, you're a book reader.
I'm a book. Oh my god,
that's a whole other
people
level.
still do that.
Oh man.
Oh, and then going on to Harry Potter, then thinking about you, I never said, why don't they just shoot him? Right? I want to see him block that bullet, right? That was the whole thing after the second movie. Like, just shoot him. He can't block it with his wand, right? Yeah, not at 3,200 feet per second. He's not going to go shoot.
You know that. Oh, wow. So I'm assuming you like guns. I mean, only a
the
gun
best
fanatic
answer.
knows speed of weaponry.
That's the best answer I've ever heard. That was great.
Right? Makes sense to me.
All right. Well, I have thing that I learned this week. Actually, I learned today. Now, obviously, the Powerball is going on right now, and $700 million. And we had a situation last year. I think $1.6 billion actually went out. And I found out a little interesting fact about lottery winners. The average amount of time it takes for a lottery winner to go broke. 7 years. 7 years. You just blow the whole thing, man. So I've got a couple tickets tonight, and I'm hoping I've got 7 years of just awesome, because my goal is to blow $700 million. And I mean,
In
that's
7 years.
That's $100 million a year.
It's like that
Brewster's
Brewster's
Millions.
Millions. There it is. That's it.
You would do it in less.
Challenge accepted.
You would have
Yeah.
a list of, this is new thing that the studio needs. And
The studio's
whatever.
going to have like 300 cameras. It's just going to be a
God.
montage. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Guys, we've got a good show. We're going to get to it. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Take a quickie break. One of our sponsors has got to pop up. And then when we come back, the Clambake with Anthony. Give me running down. You have some solid stuff tonight, right?
We'll see, I guess.
Way to show confidence. This is the hashtag DDP Live here on Longbox.FM.
listening to the hashtag DDP Live here on Longbox.FM.
Hi, I'm Kahan from Very Social, and we are
quality,
edgy,
innovative, creative,
amazing,
unique, exceptional,
butterfly, sleek,
hip, low-key, innovative, creative, modern,
good-natured, friendly.
At Very Social, our primary focus is making sure that businesses can grow, and we provide the opportunity for individuals and like-minded creative people to have a place to be themselves.
I'm just kidding. No, that just means I'm made of trash. Why am I attracted to trash?
How are you, my friend? We making the video for you.
Give me a Jeremy Clyde to go and throw him off a cliff.
At Very Social, it's more than just a job. It's more than just a company. It's more than just a business. It's about a lifestyle, a culture, and the future of media.
Is the hashtag DDP Live here at the Longbox.FM studios, brought to you, of course, by Rowley's Brewing. And all of the music that you hear a part of this show now is all from the awesome local band Seiji. So if you ever see, and that's a wild show. Anytime you want to see that band, they have music videos of them out on Fulton Street, police helicopters above them as they're getting rowdy and performing. 100 people out. He knows how to bring a show. So, and we might try to bring him here to do a live performance. Well, ideas are endless here, right?
Yes, love it. Local music. Bring
money, not endless. But ideas, I've got lots of those.
Yes.
Just find a way to cash those in. Anthony, why don't you hit it up? First story.
All right, starting off with the first story. It seems like sports casting is starting to get, super political. And I'm going to start off with this story. ESPN actually, about earlier this week, pulled an announcer from future University of Virginia games. I'm sure you guys have heard this, because of his name. ESPN recently removed the announcer of, he's Asian descent, Robert Lee, from his broadcast of future University of Virginia football games next month because of his similar name to the Confederate General Robert E. Lee.
Can he go by Roberto?
Roberto Lee.
Just for the night. I'm Roberto.
Oh man, I mean it's
insanity.
It's ridiculous.
It's insanity. But this is what's happened in this politically correct world that we live in, right? And so imagine, we can see this for the craziness that it is, right? Seeing that you're going to pull a guy from doing this broadcast simply because of his name, right?
Yeah.
But imagine had ESPN not pulled this guy. We would have then been hearing about how insensitive ESPN is. How could these people be so stupid to have left a guy like Robert Lee calling this broadcast? You are damned if you do and damned if you don't. You are going to hear it no matter what. Imagine the memes that were going to pop up, right? Of him calling the game and he's got a burning cross next to him. I mean, come on. That's what was going to happen.
His partner in the booth is on color commentary is Stonewall Jackson,
there
right?
There it is. Yeah. That's it. Yes, just scorched earth all throughout the SEC, right?
Oh, dude. Come on, sports, stay out of politics.
It's political correctness run amok.
It is.
That's what it really is.
And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be this continuous train wreck from both sides where everybody is walking on eggshells. You don't know what you can say or what you can't say. They take new words away from us that we used to be able to say and used to be able to use. Those go in and out of our vernacular at a moment's notice. And I mean, do you ever get the memo of what's acceptable this week and what's not? I mean, it's tough. So you get it from both sides.
It seems like it's according to whoever's offended the most by it. That's how we construct these things. It's like if this group says I'm offended by it, then we can't say it anymore. But if this group says we're offended by that, then I'm not going to say that anymore. It's just
Tony Martin's on the internet pops in with how is that even legal to fire someone because of their name? Not fired, pulled off for that game. But
he was moved to another game. It's not like the guy did lose any work. He was just reassigned to another game.
According to him, it was mutual. It was a mutual decision.
Of course he's going to say that. Dude,
movie, you're fired.
It does sound familiar. The fact that someone's being persecuted because of the way they were born or the name they were born with. So similar on both of those sides. People are stupid. I'm done with people.
I think that we can agree with. Right?
Yes, I think we can agree with that. Yeah, ESPN. That's not the only thing they're in trouble for. Actually, they've been in trouble for apologizing for a recent fantasy football draft, which I'm sure you guys have all seen the videos of. Resembles a slave auction.
Yes. Of course,
the
double
fantasy
down.
Football.
Fantasy football.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a sketch featuring a white auctioneer holding up a popsicle sticks of different faces of players. They appear to be an audience of mostly white people. For many of the viewers, when just looking at it, he's holding up a sign. If we have the picture up right there, holding up the face of the player.
Oh my god!
And I believe he sold for $35.
All right, we got Odell Beckham up here. You guys can buy me now. He's a strong lad, strapping. He's definitely going to put in his work on the field. Yep. He will bring you points. So can I get a go ahead and go $5 for this black man here? Right, $5, $10. I got $10 here. We got a lawsuit over there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But for $35, that's a heck of a deal.
Depends on how your card looks.
Yeah.
How does stuff like that end up on TV? Is there no quality control where someone's going, real quick tap on the shoulder?
Well, I mean, I'd probably suggest that there's a lack of diversity in the room that's making those decisions. I mean, had there been several people of color in that production meeting, I bet that doesn't fly.
Hell no.
I want to see that meeting where the guy's just sitting in the corner going, what'd you say, white boy? Tell me your idea again.
They should just have a position there. It's like, hey, let's run it past the black guy real quick and make sure this is okay.
God. Just straight out there with it, too. That's your job. What about you applying for? Black guy you run things through. Okay.
Is this cool? Yeah, it's cool. No. I don't like that. Well, according to, ESPN, they said there were white auction offs. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Rob Gronkowski, and they apologized by saying out of context, it can look pretty bad.
Well,
yeah.
And in context, it looks pretty bad. So that's a swing and a miss right up there.
We'll keep going on with this racism, which is just so prevalent.
Thanks, man. That's what you're doing on our first show?
It's so much. There's so much information that actually...
Speaking about people who should be doing quality control on what we do on the broadcast.
Right, looking around the room.
Well, actually, this is actually kind of funny. White supremacists are taking DNA tests to try to prove how pure they are, and a lot of them are discovering they are not 100% white.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
what is the Dave Chappelle bit?
Clayton Bigsby?
Yeah, there's a lot of exploding heads happening all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
It's in my blood.
All right.
Who put it there?
Drain it.
That would probably be Grandpa put it there, honestly.
A new study,
maybe great grandpa.
A new study out of UCLA found that white supremacists have been using Ancestry.com, 23andMe to try to get these racial purifier, I'm racially pure, basically to their friends on this one website. A lot of them are turning out that they are not, like I said, they're not white. So they're going back to the website saying, oh, it turns out I'm not white. And everyone just instantly turns on them. Who would have thought
You're
about
out of the
that?
clan.
You're out of the clan. Just saying that they aren't white. They get defensive and say things like, my advice is to trust your own family genealogy research and what your grandparents told you before trusting a DNA test.
That's got to be sad.
That's their defense.
I'm amazed they even have Wi-Fi in states like Kentucky. I didn't know they could get on the internet in some of these places.
Once again, ignorance and superstition will overcome science and knowledge.
They will.
Well put.
Moving on. I'm sure you all heard that Steve Bannon's out of a job right now. leaving the White House.
He left the White House to go join a paper to attack the White House. It's more like he didn't really leave a job. He just transferred.
I guess he transferred over, but either way, the paper that he moved to is actually very happy that he's coming back. That they had some some fidget spinners made for him for his
oh God
welcome home present. Turns out you can get fidget spinners from BreitbartStore.com. I pulled this picture from the store. $21.95 you can purchase for them. You get 3 of them, and this is the best description that I've ever heard for something for so conservative. Leftists need comfort in times like these. Gift them this pacifying item that will give them something to do between pulling down monuments. Or keep one for yourself.
Oh, yeah, or just keep one for yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I think to commemorate the very first episode of the hashtag DDP Live, I'm going to Breitbart. I'm going to buy one of those 3-packs, and we are going to give away Banyan to Breitbart fidget spinners on the show. Right? We got to do something like that.
That's perfect.
I'll write Longbox on the back or something, balance it out.
Hot ticket item. Ticket item.
All right.
There you go.
Sharpie.
Stay tuned for those wonderful gifts coming out to you guys.
Moving on. So it turns out Samuel L. Jackson and Magic Johnson recently went on a trip to Italy. Where fans actually found him on this bench. And
is it like a rom-com?
No, it's actually, I guess they're friends.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But either way, so, fans are taking pictures of him on the bench. Well, that picture went viral in the Italian community on Facebook, saying that these are immigrants and that they're living off the Italian immigrant fund, and they're buying, as you can see in the bags on the bottom, Prada, they're buying Gucci, they're buying some brands that I can't even pronounce. And it went
Adidas.
viral. They went viral all over Italy for this because they were mistaken for refugees.
Can I hashtag that Fury and AIDS? Just
Fury and
right?
Yeah.
Because one star
HIV.
Hey, you got to Photoshop yourself in between them, right? That looks like you're hanging out with them.
Cool. Like one of those benches at Bad Buds or something. The 2 chicks, and I can just sit up there and take a pose.
The old school brothel chicks.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
How has that not been pulled down? Those statues. We're selling women, right? Right?
No.
I'm going to start protesting.
I'm going to fight for that. Yeah, I'm going to keep those statues out.
Yeah.
We'll march on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, moving on. So, in high school, what was the worst threat to your campus? Be honest, I really want to know. What's the worst threat you really felt on campus?
Syphilis.
Well,
just like a false alarm, pulling a false fire alarm.
Okay, so that's the worst, right? So in Berlin,
we're talking pre-Columbine, right?
This
okay.
Jesus. All right.
High school for you.
Hold on.
Some of us are young here. Okay.
Oh, my bad. That was in my time. God.
Either way, in Berlin, these schools have to actually install anti-prostitution fences.
What?
In high school?
In high school. A Berlin school finished building a 6-foot fence to keep street prostitution out of its campus.
So where do the cheerleaders practice?
Outside the 6-foot fence.
Well, with all the news that we've been getting lately about these female teachers having sex with their high school students, we're going to need those around American schools pretty soon.
Dude, some of those girls, too. They're hot.
Yeah, not bad.
I know. I did something wrong.
What about that lucky SOB who got into it with a 3-way? 2 teachers and the kid. Dude, and why would he open his mouth, man? He's doubling down on 2 hot teachers, and he has to go flap the lips. Dude, you're an idiot. I want to go to that kid and be like, hey, I'm going to pull you aside. I'm going to tell you a little something. Shut your mouth, man. You are ruining the gravy train.
You were double downing already.
Yeah.
Well, according to the high school administrators, prostitutes can be seen soliciting students and people, at all hours of the day there. They say there's buildup of discarded condoms, syringes, as well as excrement, as well as, I guess, the school grounds is also being used as a
buildup of excrement.
A buildup of excrement.
That's not a good party.
That's a lot of lunch money.
That's what I was thinking. How much money do they get for lunch? I got like $5. I mean,
I got a PB&J and a brown paper sack.
yeah.
I don't think they'll trade for that.
Can you take a brown paper sack to school these days, or do you have to pay 10 cents for it?
If it's plastic.
Okay. Paper. Okay.
Yeah.
Boo, my bad. Terrible joke.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty terrible. You know, it's 410 feet long, and it cost him $67,000 in U.S. currency.
Of course.
For 400 feet of fence.
410 feet.
What if they
You could
paid?
have got that done for cheaper. Right?
What if
At
they?
least $100. Yeah, $100 last. I mean, hell.
What if they had paid the prostitutes to put up the fence?
Putting the community to work.
There you go.
Yeah. The cheaper rates. All you got to do is talk to Lucius, the pimp. Just say, look, what's the hourly? Do we get bulk on this? Okay, I know you deal in per hour. Let's talk about hours here. Can we get a rate?
Group discount?
A group discount, the whole ninth grade.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of, okay.
Yeah.
Are you a veteran?
We support our troops.
All right, so moving on, you guys all know John Jones, the UFC fighter. He got tested. The test from his pee came back after he weighed in, and it turns out he was using steroids.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What?
Tested positive for steroids in UFC 214. over Daniel. I think his name's Cormier. How do you say it?
Cormier.
Cormier. There you go. I'm
That's
terrible
too
with
bad
that.
because that's such a clean sport.
Yeah.
It just ruins the image for me now.
I guess he'll just go through a disciplinary process now. Title could be stripped. It's all up in the air right now.
What about his paycheck? Will that get stripped?
No word on the paycheck just yet.
Yeah, no, he's getting that money.
No, he's keeping the money.
Yeah. He has
I guess
to.
this isn't the first time he's failed a test. This is the second time. The first time he failed a USDA drug test for a banned substance in UFC in 2006.
You say USDA?
Yeah, a US.
What he ate some tainted meat or something?
Oh, yeah, hold on. Maybe I said this wrong.
Yeah, that's Department of Agriculture. Yeah.
Oh, man, there you go.
I mean,
I'm missing
they're
A
testing
here.
that. That sounds like another bad ESPN segment.
USADA, sorry.
Initials, not important.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't really matter. You guys all got it, right?
Yeah.
Not really. Well, I didn't. I don't know the sports.
So she doesn't get sports, but I get nudity.
Yeah, moving on.
There you go.
Actually, there was another celebrity nude leak actually coming out of here. So some of the celebrities where their nudes been leaked. Let's see, Tiger Woods.
3 iron.
Yeah, 3 iron. Catherine McPhee, Lindsey Vonn, Miley Cyrus, Kristen Stewart, Stella Maxwell. And they're all demanding these websites to take those photos down, obviously, right? And they're actually lawyering her up for this time. They're actually sending cease and desist to these websites. And they're going to try to sue the heck out of them.
We can go through the whole conversation about why take pictures, because it's going to get on the internet, right? We've done this one. The soapbox has been just crushed with that same speech. What I do notice is every time there's a hack like this, it's very famous people who get a little bit more famous. A lot of web traffic. So I'm going to actually flip this around here tonight. I'm going to actually take a picture of myself right here in the studio. And I'm going to wait for someone to hack me.
Can we take a break? Is it time for that?
Is it time? Yeah.
I'm never touching that phone.
Sorry, the eclipse is coming on me right now. I should have worn those glasses.
I'm going to get famous.
So apparently, the last celebrity leak, the guy got caught. Up to 18 months in prison for that.
Well, 18 months.
That's it.
Have you seen these photos by any chance? I mean, I can't be the only one here, right? I've seen them, right? You've seen them?
I did research.
I know you've seen them.
Yeah. Why am I going to my computer? No, actually, all of my bookmarks.
Gracious.
What?
You've seen.
Research for the show.
Just research.
Is that why the house wasn't clean?
So last story?
There was buildup.
Lindsey Vonn was clean. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, God.
She was ripped.
She was, indeed.
Scorched earth policy, like you
Yes,
said
right.
before,
That's
right?
right. Yes. Yeah. Hashtag scorched earth. Yes.
Moving on to the last story of the evening. Turns out India just recently banned Islamic instant divorces.
Shit.
Now
You're not even married yet, man.
Let me tell you what a instant divorce is. It's called a triple. Now, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Talic. Triple talic.
Okay.
When men, they want to dissolve the marriage, they just say a single word, talic, 3 times to the woman, and that instantly divorces them.
Wow.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, hold on. What about text? Can we do it via text?
Oh, yeah.
Talic, T-A-L-A. Shoot.
Oh, hey, my wife texts me. Doesn't work that way, hon. Sorry.
Goddamn autocorrect. Stop.
Traditionally,
We're not even married. What are you doing?
Not anymore.
Traditionally, it's by letter or telephone. That they tell them, but lately it's been by text message, by Skype, by email, by even the WhatsApp app, if you guys are familiar with that. And just recently, they banned it in India. Pakistan actually banned it before India.
See, I'd like it to be something that could just be spoken. Because you imagine, one late night, you're drunk on that goat blood, and the woman's giving you crap because you didn't wipe the mud off the mud plates, and you just like, talik.
Yeah.
Walk off.
That's it.
Just done.
It's the double clap that makes it official.
And you just walk out to the mountains.
I think you should try to get as creative as possible. I'd hire like a skywriter, a guy
Bitmoji, man. Bitmoji.
Oh, okay, Bitmoji. Yeah, that works too.
The skywriter, though, you get the news: an entire town divorced. That's it.
That was it. That's
all right. Let's. We're going to take ourselves a little bit of a break. Those online checking it out and do check it out and do share and like the YouTube page, Longbox.FM. All the things, just find it because this is going to keep running. Give us the loves. You got some music videos coming up here during the break. When we come back, we're going to get serious, okay? We've had our fun. We're going to talk with Dan Riley about everything he's gone through. 4 years of just absolute hell, and he's been married longer than that. That's going on. High-speed rail. Lots happening here on the show. Hashtag DDP Live. We will be right back. You're tuned in to Hashtag DDP Live here on Longbox.FM. It is the Hashtag DDP Live here live on Longbox.FM, brought to you by our lovely guest tonight, Riley's Brewing, Dan Riley. Thanks.
Lovely.
You are a lovely, lovely man. Plus, I wish I could have your physique when I'm your age. You're older than me, but not by much. But I think our
Turn
future.
Turn the camera off for a second. You don't want to see that.
Look, your bell curve on beauty and everything is a much longer, spread out, higher thing than mine. I've got a cliff coming, a hard cliff, just gonna go bad. We do want to hear from you guys out there. We do have some listeners. Thank you for popping in with the first ever episode. The new show, everything that we're doing here with the Hashtag DDP Live. You can hit us up. 4920450. It's on the screen if you're watching. There is the Skype you can call in, just longbox.fm, and of course hashtag it on the Twitters, hashtag DDP Live. Any questions, any thoughts, all that stuff. Cuddy is manning the YouTube chat. I'm watching the Facebook Live, and with that, let's move on to tonight's main subject, main issue, and we have a caller right away. Hold on.
Oh,
I wasn't expecting this. People like us. Oh, okay. Hopefully it's not
we
telemarketer.
don't know yet.
yeah, we don't know.
Hi.
You want to resort?
Welcome to Hashtag DDP Live. What's up?
Hi, am I on the air?
Yes, you are on the air. That's why I said that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What do you think helps penis?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's how you do a first call. Thank you.
Yes.
Live radio.
Starting off the show.
Thanks, man. You are useless.
You need a screener now.
Speaking of uselessness, let's talk about tonight's subject, high-speed rail. And, of course, Dan Riley, you're here in part because you have a little history with the high-speed rail. High-speed rail is something that, and I did a little research before the show, 2006, the election came through a 52 to 47% yes vote in California to create this tremendous thing that's going to connect north and south through the hub here of Central Valley, Fresno, California. And it was supposed to be this glorious thing, and it was just going to be $9 billion with a matching $9 billion from federal funds. That's what we heard. That's what we voted on. At the time, they had no idea exactly what it's going to do, except someone, maybe like a third grader, took a crayon to a map and said, no, that looks good. And that was the plan. Now, 2008, the cost rose to $40 billion. 2012 estimate, it's already now $68.4 billion. This great thing is supposed to bring so much to this valley, to the state, connecting everyone, promoting growth to the Central Valley. Us rednecks here, who we need the help from the Bay Area and L.A., it was supposed to bring jobs, which I thought it was a joke because the jobs only go until the railroad's done. Now I realize at this point those might be lifelong jobs because this thing's never getting built. Unintended consequences as it continues forward. There is no money, so they keep pushing these things, like the recent gas tax, which is set up to help the roads. And yet already, and I've been watching that gas tax, they've already pulled off $30 million for things not for the roads. They've already earmarked a certain amount for high-speed rail. Cap and trade was set up for high-speed rail. Everything just keeps going into this high-speed rail that's not going anywhere. For the downtown Fresno, because this was the biggest thing for downtown Fresno, was it's going to go aid in the revitalization process. And that's going to be nice. Now, we've seen downtown really kind of start to blossom. And now you hear all these people who said this is going to be a great thing for us screaming gentrification, which did you not see that was going to come? The unintended consequences will be my hashtag on this is the constant. It sounds like a great idea, and then the fallout has just been nothing but bad. Now, beyond that, Dan Riley, we've had lots of talks. The unintended consequences here that lands with you. When they talk about jobs, this high-speed rail almost cost 30 people their jobs. Almost cost you a legacy, generational-owned business. So for that, give us a little bit about your history, your background, what you do besides just beer, and we'll start this off.
Okay, so simple answer is I own steel structures. That's really all my bread and butter. Grandpa had E.T. Riley and Sons up in Oregon. And then my dad came down and followed some friends here in California and started Riley's Tanks and Steel Fabrication. And then I took over August 18, 2006. But steel structures and the Riley legacy, if you will, has been around since about 1952. So it's been around a long time. I got my first certification at 15 years old. And so that was a certified welder. And so that's
wow.
Yeah, I did. And actually, I'd like to, if I know my kids are watching right now with my wife.
Oh, so, earmuffs. Earmuffs.
Yeah. And just going back to school, I had my kids work all summer, and both of them passed their ASME certifications under my license. So they're both certified welders at 14 and 16.
Oh, wow,
so
that's great.
Awesome.
Definitely, I take that as a accomplishment of them doing better than me. That's my goal, is for them to be more successful.
Yeah, and me too. Yeah, I've done nothing. I can't do that, but yeah.
Already more successful than me.
That's right, yeah.
At 14.
They're still hoping for a teacher. I'm hoping for a future.
So anyway, that's going to win. Steel Structures was been doing pretty well. We can't really complain. Highs and lows, goods, bad, all that good stuff. Well, then the high-speed rail approached me and let me know that they're going to be taking part of the property and they would be working with me for acquisition. So I said that was fine. So we worked on that for a while, and then pretty soon acquisition turned into eminent domain because I disagreed with how they were going to do it and the value was going to pay me. So, I could drag this out for an hour, but long story short, they ended up coming to the place and offered me $222,000 for my property because they were cutting off the access and I wouldn't be able to get my trucks out. Then during deposition and discovery with experts, as when we lawyered up and really went to town, they decreased that to $113,000 because they said that my business wasn't worth anything. Payroll was liability, on and on and on. I just had lots of liabilities, right? Because I employ people and try to work. So when it was all said and done, we put together a project, and I worked very strongly with the city and the county of Madera. I worked well with EDC, and I've got some really good names I'd like to thank, like Will Oliver, Brett Frazier. There's been some really great guys that had my back on this whole thing. Madera really rallied around me. We fought back hard, and we were trying to get $3.6 million to rebuild my entire access, because I have to underground utility lines, I have to purchase property, I have to put in a driveway, I have to move my well, I have to relocate a building. There's a lot that I have to do to make this happen, so the money goes quick. And with the support, we ended up reaching a judgment, actually, not even a judgment with Judge Kennedy for $3.3 million. Wow. So we pulled them from $113,000 all the way up to $3.3 million. So I still had to come down $300,000. So I'm technically still short, but it's a win, and I'm keeping my place. They can't throw me out. So I always tell everybody now that we're trying to put together a project. I've had a lot of people call, stop by. And I give people the best advice I can with the rail, and I tell them over and over again, engage early and engage often. Go to your local officials. The Fresno has a great EDC, and I throw Will Oliver out there again and Leanne. They did a fantastic job with me. If you're in Madera all the way down through Los Banos and everywhere the train's going to go, I would say go to the Madera County Board and find out when their meetings are. I should know off the top of my head. I apologize. Show up and say, here I am, this is my name, the high-speed rail is impacting me, what do I do? And the county will be on board now, and they'll help you out. You have a lot of now ammunition, not so much in Fresno, but in Madera. The public officials of Madera will definitely have your back all through the county, and that's what I've learned.
So your case, correct me if I'm wrong, was the precedent case in Madera County.
Absolutely.
Now, again, the unintended consequences of this grand railroad that we are building. Fresno's getting a lot of money. I know personally I saw a witness is involved in a way with a bid process that was totally faked. One company already had a bid set up, and this is just IT-related stuff. They had a bid, and they went to two other companies and said, hey, we'll pay you $10,000. You bid it higher than our bid. We'll show you what we did so they can get it. And that was just the IT side of this company. The main company, the one who gets the benefits, got a brand new facility, everything upgraded. Okay, great stuff for them. That's just one company. But that's here in Fresno where money was just being handed out left and right.
Right.
Madera, unintended consequences. Madera is just nothing. You're redneck folks. Shut up. Get out of the way. The railroad is coming through. You're the Indians. I don't know if I can do this. You're the Indians of the railroad plan. You just need to shut your mouth and move on. And it sounded like, look, they went from $220,000 initially with you and then went down and settled for 3.18. And I don't know how far you want to go in as far as why that jump happened, and we don't have to. But again, dirtiness, corruption, and everything going on to this grand thing is supposed to better all of our lives.
Right.
So for you, it's important, right, for the precedent case, because that is correct. Why pretty much all of Madera County was on your side and getting involved.
Right. I had support. I said I can't say enough about the city and the county. Madera absolutely had my back. Everybody from the mayor on down. Everybody really had me. There wasn't any funny games on that side. And they stood beside me, and I was sitting at a table sometimes that had representatives from the city and the county at the same table with me across from high-speed rail. And it was just what's fair. We weren't looking to cut a fat hog. I wasn't trying to... at one time we looked at relocation, and I actually didn't want to move everything. It was just keep me in business, keep me whole, and let me keep working. And that's ultimately what happened with all of the assistance. But I can't imagine going at it alone. Just if how it first started coming out, if I was just going to have to lawyer up and fight them head to head, you can't beat the state. They have too much money. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of manipulate how it's going to work out, and you find the weak points.
Isn't that what they're kind of counting on, is that it's going to seem like such a monumental task to take on the state that they're just going to try to steamroll and bulldoze everybody and use scare tactics because they are the big government. They can't be stopped. That's certainly the image they give off. But you're a guy that stood up to them and fought them. Mm-hmm. What would you say to other people who may not have the resources, and you've been blessed, certainly with steel structures, hard work has paid off for you. For those that don't have those resources, what's out there for them?
I would exactly what I did. I was really in over my head. I'm just too stubborn and too stupid to quit, and I really didn't want to quit on my guys. I've had guys that work for my dad. So literally, there was a time when a few guys had worked for me throughout a generation, and I've got one of my guys now. His son is looking to maybe even get employed. So I like to hold my head high and say, I think I do a good enough job if people want to keep working. So I really just couldn't give up on a bunch of guys. I've got guys in their 60s getting ready to retire. Let's say I lost. Where would they go? The last 3 years of your career when you're in a pretty good spot with me. So. Like I said, just it's stubbornness. But for a lot of people, I say again, I'm like kind of that theme: engage early, engage often. As soon as you find out that someone's trying to take your house, or as soon as you find out that someone's trying to take your land, your acres, your driveway, whatever it is you're doing, go down to in Madera. Like I said, Fresno has not been as I should say appealing to that. They just hasn't been as open. But in Madera now, just show up to your local officials and say, I have this problem, help me, and they all know where to go now.
And so you were able to get this settlement in your favor essentially for over $3 million, which is going to hopefully cut that cost for you.
Right.
But what is it else that, are they trying to, can you stop them from actually taking your land?
No. That I learned when they come in with eminent domain. Now, we got them to reduce the take. There were some sections that were coming off the back of my building, and then with mapping it out with the fire marshal, it was just too close to my main shop. So they had to relocate the shop or move the track. So they actually, during the judgment, set the fence back away from my shop to allow fire track access. Now, recently, they put the stakes in, and I've just been going back with the appraiser because he hasn't been able to put the stakes in because there's a conflict there. But that's a whole other animal. But we kind of knew that was coming. So there's ways, you just got to play and you have to know what you're doing. I had a great set of attorneys. I'm not going to blast them out here, but for people that are really up against it, you can catch me, Steel Structures, Riley's Brewing, catch me on Facebook, whatever you want to do. I'll be happy to reply. There's been over 20 people that I've worked with already and pointed them in the right directions. Not that I'm the smartest guy. I've just been through the pain. So I can say, okay, this is where you are. Contact these people. They'll help you. And they do it at no charge.
I love the idea of the David versus the Goliath sort of thing that's happening right here. Because here you are, you're a small business owner, you're employing 31 people, which means that 31 families get a roof over their head, and they get to eat 3 times a day, because I'll bet your kids are like mine, that they have this annoying habit of insisting on eating 3 times a day.
Teenage boys, yeah.
They do, that's right.
Yeah,
and so,
4 or 5 times a day.
And what's happening here, of course, is that this high-speed rail is coming through, and it's blasting through farmland all throughout the Central Valley. You can replace roads and you can replace things in buildings. You cannot replace farmland.
No.
And, you talk about generational stuff. You know as well as I do that there are farmers and business owners throughout this Central Valley that are multi-generational owners that have had their businesses and their farmland just ripped up because of this thing.
Yeah, there's several cases where they went right through land, and the farmer still owns both sides, but now we can't get across. Or there's a bridge going up that you can't access. Our biggest factor was they wanted to put this on-ramp right in front of the bridge that I couldn't get all my large trucks over. So on and on and on cases. And the point is, though, is you don't have to just settle in with what they take. There's a lot of resources. Like I say, if you can reach out to me, it's fine. There's a lot of resources you can do to fight them. And if it really comes down to it, I've known some great lawyers that are really knuckle down. But it's really hard. If you've got something that's only a few $100,000, man, it's tough to lawyer up. Because the state knows the gambit, and the first 200,000 to 300,000, I don't care what it's worth, they can burn that much cash out of you like that. So it's really hard if you've only got a house worth a couple $100,000. You can't afford to fight it. I think go back to there are public officials in place that they know they can't stop the train, but they can at least get you something fair to where your life isn't destroyed.
And it's not only that about lawyering up and stuff. It's just having that community moral support behind you. Like you said, sitting at that table, having those city officials with you. That must feel good to know that you have a community that can back you up like that.
Yeah, that's.
Well,
he was terrifying. Yeah,
he was handing out beer to everybody. He was going to the local schools.
I'm behind you. I'm behind you.
Yeah,
I can get on that train.
By the way, if you have any comments or questions, 492-0450. And if you call from Pennsylvania, no, I'm sorry, you're 13, man. Just go back to the porn, dude. There's a kid that's just calling me incessantly now, so we're out. Any questions? Do please hit us up in the chat rooms. We'll answer your questions, take them wherever we can. High-speed railroad. It's definitely very divisive, right? There are people for... look, the initial vote was pretty much 50-50. I was against it. I voted against it. I just didn't think it made sense. We need so much. And in California, we talk about the 6th largest economy in the world. We don't talk about how much money we spend. Also pretty high up there. Maybe a little higher than 6, the amount that we give off. It just didn't seem like something that made sense. Now, I've heard the Hyperloop argument, but look, there's not an active Hyperloop going right now. They're still testing it. So once you install technology, it's instantaneously obsolete. That's congratulations, technology. There we go. I like the idea, it voted for, if we did it for what it would ultimately have been $18 billion with the federal funds, I'm for it. But it's not that, and it just keeps going and going and draining. And they pulled money out of Cal Fire this year to go to to go to the HSR. Whoa. And of course, we know with the drought, that's good. Let's not cut down the dead trees. So wonder why Detweiler happened, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and it's kind of a 20th century fix for a 21st century problem. There are definitely things they can do. There's better trains, and even the fact that they're still just building the infrastructure. That money you're talking about does not include the train. I don't know if you know that. Yeah, I mean, they're still building the infrastructure. They're still building the piles. They're still building. They're taking property. They were supposed to acquire all the property right now. They're way behind. But all of that money, they still haven't even picked out the train.
I like that. Wow. We have the aerial bridge to nowhere, just south of Fresno.
Right.
You can see it on the 99, and that's being built. This whole lifted up structure. Mm-hmm. But there's a roadblock down the road that we still haven't acquired that property. They did surveys of land. And then after a couple of years, 8 years of drought or whatever, they realized that the land had dropped. So now they have to resurvey. It's a money pit. Shelley Long is running high-speed rail.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is the captain of this this train wreck, and that's what's happening. I mean, look, everybody that voted against this thing back then knew for a fact it wasn't going to be $18 billion, and that's one of the reasons why I voted against it. Because when have you ever seen the government come in under budget or on budget or anywhere near budget, right? I mean, the first rule of government spending is why build one when you can build two, right? At twice the cost.
Spend all the money, you don't get the budget again.
Spend all the money. That's what it is. And so we've seen this thing. We knew this was a boondoggle right from the start. It's disrupting lives. It's disrupting my wallet, okay? Because every time I go to the pump and you're diverting another 10 cents, 5 cents, 15 cents, whatever it is of our tax dollar to whatever fund you want to dump this in, when does it stop? I mean, you're absolutely right. By the time this train is, if and when it's ever finished, is going to be so outdated with the technology by then. I mean, who's going to ride this thing?
It's a great question. I don't know. No one can answer the question. People leave that said.
It's subsidized, so the train the train gets paid at the end of the day, every single day, regardless of riders or not, right? We're all still paying for it. We're paying for the empty seats on that train. I read somewhere, I can't pull it up right now, and I'm not going to care that much about it. It's going to be something like 270 years before this thing finally pays itself off.
Well, it's supposed to end now in San Francisco. I've got a picture of the map on the wall, the final design, and it's supposed to go underneath and under where the BART station is and everything else now.
But wait till San
Francisco and San Jose starts getting tore up. I mean, we're easy.
Wasn't the first leg Fresno to L.A.?
Yep.
And then they started it and went. Course. They said, "Oh, grapevine, shit. Well, let's go to the Bay Area."
What I had heard was they got the first step in the way because the Central Valley is mainly conservatives, and we had the votes against it. Once you got down to L.A. or up into San Francisco, you had a lot of votes for it. So remember, also originally it was going to go down I-5. It was going to dodge all this and just zip between the two in the shortest route. And then the other governors and so forth wouldn't back it. So they had to start running through cities to get the money and the support to get the votes to continue to build it.
Well, again, it sounds nice, right?
No.
But, no, I mean,
it sounds like a scheme.
Look, for $9 billion, $18 billion, it goes in and everything they promised, cool. I mean, it got voted in. I can't argue the process. The thing that bothers me, San Francisco, right now, we have somebody, Chris, that you and I work with who's heading off to San Francisco here. And the $120,000. If you make $120,000 a year in the Bay Area, it's poverty level. Wow. This is why the train's coming. And Fresno is going to start booming. I mean, if you own a house right now, you are going to get some awesome value to your property in the next 10, 15 years. Your property taxes are going to suck progressively. If you don't own a house, good luck, because we'll become the new San Francisco with the back and forth. They're used to traveling and everything. And again, unintended consequences. Gentrification. We're going to get that north people want to live in. We're going to get the downtown area, the big city feel of the downtown.
Right.
We're going to be pushing the people who have built this city. It is the 5th largest city in California, but we do have some just very old school ways about us, and we do not fit that future. We brought the train in to push us out, and long haul, we will be pushed out. We will not be able to afford this.
No, downtown, they're building everything as what you would see. They want you to be able to walk off the train, walk into downtown Fresno, go to a baseball game, go to the art hop, go to the brew pubs, go to all that trendy stuff, do your little walk and feel good and say, wow, Fresno's a great place. Then you get back on the train and take off. That's why High Speed Rail dumps so much money in the revitalization program. And they've got to make sure downtown is a clean, fun-looking place. So when you zip back to downtown San Francisco or wherever else you're going to go, you say, wow, that was a neat place. I want to go again.
Yeah, no one wants to go into the bad areas. The people who can afford this train ticket back and forth every day.
No.
Now, that, $36 every single day. $36 one way isn't so bad when you're making $120,000 a year.
Right.
Well,
that's fully subsidized. The train ticket's going to cost way more than $36. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they got a train every 15 minutes now looping by, and I mean I've seen all the numbers. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's a lot of trains getting by too. It's not just like one train.
Oh.
I mean, there's going to be like 20, 30 different trains zipping up and down this track at any moment. It's going to run like BART. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going up and down this track.
Well, it's not only that. It's when you're talking about that revitalization program, they put down construction in that downtown area for so long. I know local business owners because I work down there.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to them. They're struggling to get by because of that construction.
Right.
That construction, I mean, they have there's one, mom and pop, cafe down in the corner over here, and it's all blocked off by construction. You have to go down like this sketchy alleyway. It's just killing businesses.
With my shop now, all of 15 is tore up, and they've got the signs the roads are closed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come all the way up through 12, then go 3.5 miles to get to my place now. You can't come across from 41 anymore. And it's going to stay like that for 2 or 3 years.
That really sucks for me. That's the road I take to
15?
go to work. Yeah.
No,
every
15.
day.
You go to 15 and 29, and there's all the signs up. They've blocked off the whole thing.
Yeah.
They start tearing up the road for the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there can't be a bridge. The train doesn't stop. So even some of the places like in Fresno, imagine what's going to happen out there by Herndon and so forth when they start really working out there. Those tracks you see, the big old, especially on Shaw, that's a nasty area. You get caught on the train tracks there on Shaw, at 99. That's got to go away. Everything's going to be a bridge. So the traffic either has to go over or under. Imagine when they start tearing all that up.
Oh, God.
It's going to go 2 to 3 years to build a bridge.
The cool thing, though, I mean, when the city gets behind construction, they really go after it, and it gets done eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Right.
Yeah.
Right. In due time.
I was just looking, and I got to interrupt with this just because I spent the time to look for it, and sorry, everyone. No, prices on Granville homes in the downtown area, the special new buildings they built, the lofts, all that stuff. You're looking at, and the listeners don't know where I live. I live in a nice area of town. I have a 3-bedroom house. I have a backyard. I have 2 bathrooms. Well, kind of. Our bathroom's kind of sad. I pay $1,300 a month for this. We're talking here rents up to $2,800. We're going $1,300 to $1,450, and that's 2 bedrooms. One or 2 bedrooms, $925 to $2,600. This is downtown. So again, the high-speed rail is bringing in all this stuff, and who can afford that? We pushed everyone out, and that's the first step. How do we all get pushed out eventually? And it's just,
well, now you see with the homeless thing, they got to get all that cleaned up because people aren't going to want to pay $2,900.
And poor tower,
yeah,
God, they're getting hit. They just shove everything they don't want in the tower at this point. You just go there to the black hole.
Tower's that junk drawer you never want to clean out.
Wow.
Oh, Cuddy pops in with something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now, to be fair, though, the people at Tower, they embrace it and they party with it.
Some wild nights in the
I've been to some Mardi Gras out there. It's like, holy cow.
I noticed.
I don't mean it as a bad thing.
Oh, really? That's funny. That's how it sounded.
A junk drawer.
I'm
Gee,
sorry.
how did we mistake that?
It made sense in my head.
You're a junk drawer. No, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment.
You know
Yeah.
what? My 20s, I grew up hanging out in town, in Tower District, and it was a cool thing. They still had their looseness. I mean, look, if I want to shoot up, I'm going to do it in Tower, and it was cool enough to do it, right? But now it's like it's ugly bad. And I'm sorry, Tower listeners. I don't mean to be mean, but it is true. Once the downtown thing got going, it really squeezed everyone towards you because North Fresno doesn't want them, and this is going to go into next week's show because we're going to be talking about the homeless encampment ban. I think we will have Steve Brando in talking about that. We'll also talk about mental health issues in Fresno, but this is not the time to promote something for next week.
Speaking of Tower, I used to like it. I used to spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, we're gonna take this wrong.
Yeah, here we go.
I don't see.
I have a comment. Before, it was a lot easier to walk around. Get from one place to another place if it was late at night. Not too late, not sketchy. But now it's not really the same. And my favorite bar, changed their complete setting.
Yeah, because they caught on fire.
No.
Sorry,
no.
Not to give anything away.
It was a different place.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
But it just changed the atmosphere. It didn't feel the same anymore.
Well, that's because you're getting older, babe. You're marrying
Lies.
me. My stink is on you.
Oh, God.
Anything to wrap up with on this? Chris?
I don't know how to follow that.
We're going to try to repress it. Save this moment, Chris. What do you got?
Well, what I like is that, listen, this train has kind of blown out of proportion already, right? It's off the rails, so to speak, in terms of spending. Yeah, that's a real cliche.
Boo.
Yeah, boo. Yeah, I wouldn't
Hashtag off the rails.
That. That's not good. Yeah. But I love the fact that you've provided some. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. I actually earned that. I love the fact that you're someone that is going to stand up to this. This David against Goliath sort of a moment, and too many people are too willing or too unwilling to fight the monster, to fight the beast, and it looks overwhelming at times. But you know that you had a lot to stand up for, and I think you've given people some really good resources or an opportunity, or at least the fact that you're an example, that somebody that's been able to stand up to the state and get what you deserve, or at least very close to it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we're kind of proud to be the precedent. So when you go up against them, you can look at, I've given our records to lots of people now, and it's all public record. You can look up all the depositions. It's all there. Mm-hmm. And it's the people of California, I think it is, versus Steel Structures. And you can read through the press and see how we did it. And it's not even a secret. It's the opposite of a secret. I want to make sure everybody knows about it. So when you're up against this thing, and it's not that we're trying to stop it per se. You can't. I can tell you cannot just stop them from taking your property. You can manipulate a little bit. You can massage it. You can move the boundaries a little bit. But the thing is, just get what's fair.
That's right.
Don't let them. If you're going to get run out of your house, make sure you get a new one somewhere else of whatever is comparable. Yeah. If they're going to take your shop out, or if they're going to split your farmland in half, make sure they give you something that's comparable. That's all we're after. Is at the end of the day, make us whole.
Make you whole. Fair market value,
fair
right?
value.
Eminent domain is eminent domain, and you're right. You can't stop that.
No.
It's law. It's been in this country since the beginning.
Correct.
Okay, and so you can't stop that.
No.
But you're right that you should be at least made whole.
Right. Just let me keep doing what I'm doing. Let me apply. Like I said, keep your house, keep your shop, keep your job. For me, just let me give her the income I make and what I pay in taxes from the people and from the industry easily offsets anything you'd have lost in that wager. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Even what they paid me. Yeah.
I got to ask. I don't know if you can say. Did you ever get the offer, the wink, wink, the look, man? We don't want to go down this route. We got some money. We'll just hand you a briefcase and you go away.
Yes, on two instances.
Yes.
One, they did come in initial negotiation. They came in and said, "We'll just offer you $1 million. We don't care what you do with it. Just go." And then the last one was when we got the 3-3, and he basically said, "Look, I can't fight you anymore. I'm done." Because we were getting ready for trial. We had another deposition from the right-of-way agent just a few days later. And then we were getting ready for jury selection. We were right there. And no one had gone to that level before. We were the first one. And right as we were getting ready for that last piece, they finally said, "You know what, we just can't." There was so much we had dug up in the meantime, and there's so many things we learned about them that it just the last thing you wanted is to have all explode, which is why I can't get into it, because I did make a promise. So if you're listening, yes, I'm going to keep my promise that I cannot get into all the crap that we dug up.
I'm glad you said that, because you're not the only person I know who's gone through this.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a nice bundle, a nice little booklet of some fantastic things. Now, Chris, thank you for being a part of the show. Anthony, thank you for being a part of the show. Cotty, you're married to me. Too bad.
What? What was that word?
This is something that we're going to talk about down the road. I know about some just ugliness in the HSR, and I am not afraid. You, Chris, you're sticking around because you said you love David and Goliath. Well, welcome to David, because I'm going to start swinging.
Little David.
Yeah.
Little David. He's got that little slingshot, you know.
I got
Simpson, really.
small man syndrome. Just,
Yeah.
I'm going to go. No, I'm not that angry against High Speed Rail to do this. I hate corruption. I hate things. I hate looking at my paycheck and seeing that 46% is gone. And where does it go? And seeing how this goes. And there's nothing I can do. It's a Democratic state. It's run by Democrats. 20 years long in the party. There's nothing you can do. The high-speed rail just keeps pulling and pulling, and they keep lying. The gas tax, that whole thing for the roads, which we all knew was bullshit. It was not going to be roads. And what did you know? As soon as it kind of goes away, it passes, and we didn't even vote on it. They voted on it. It's just bullshit. And on this show, I want to keep trying to do what I can to push against that type of stuff. I don't know if it'll ever do anything. Maybe I just get more cease and desist letters, which I do love. I do love it, because I own nothing, and you're really wasting your time trying to fight me.
Hey, we've got a platform. You've got a platform, and we've got voices, and they need to be heard. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? That's what it is. It's never the big gouge. It's always death by 1,000 paper cuts, and they take 5 cents from you here each and every time, and it's always something new. And people have to stand up and realize that 46% of your paycheck is going to fund United States. Look, I will pay my taxes. I want good roads. I want firefighters. I want cops, the whole thing. But I also want responsible spending and adequate oversight of where this stuff is going.
And
Stop
I want to
selling me a pipe dream.
I want to stop being banned on Facebook. I don't know if we were doing the soapbox
That's
excitement.
different.
That's because you know.
All right. Well, my bad. Tell you what, we're gonna take a quick break. We have a game coming up. Not a quick break. We're going to throw a couple music videos to you guys who are watching live. By the way, in the future, you want to be watching live, because when we give away stuff, that's your opportunity. When we ask you to call in, that's your opportunity, unless you're in Pennsylvania. Sorry, dude. Again, look for porn. Do that. Not my show. This is too much.
No.
You're a little... No, this kid. Come on.
Yeah. Look.
We are going to be doing our game tonight, Beer Friday. Now, Dan Riley knows a little something about the beers and the vodkas. And we're gonna invent something during the break. So stick around. We will be right back here on hashtag DDP Live. You're tuned in to hashtag DDP Live here on Longbox.FM.
Shall we play a game?
Challenge accepted.
Oh, man, I love this. Hashtag DDP Live, first show, new crew, new show, I mean, a little bit of the old, but a brand new cast, a brand new feel if you've been listening so far. We had our fun. We got very serious, and that's what we plan to do every single week. And like responsible, politically minded, people who just want to make change, who want to talk about those serious issues. Our game tonight is getting drunk.
Yes.
Finally, something I'm good at.
It is Beer Friday on a Wednesday.
Finally, something you can excel at.
Finally, something
Right?
you could talk about.
What?
Well, we're gonna talk about Rally's Brewing, and I got some pictures that will be posted on the website on the Longbox.FM, Facebooks, and all that stuff. I just did a Snapchat. By the way, follow me, Dirty Dowdy, on Snapchat, because I'm now Snapchatting. Changes, man. That's what I've done in 8 months. I finally accepted that. We got Dan Riley here. We've already talked, again, HSR and how he's been bent over. 4 years of fighting, and you lost $28 million in that whole thing. And we're going to celebrate tonight by drinking a lot of your beer. Now, being who I am just white trash when it comes to beer and stuff. Wait, when sommeliers, is that the thing for the wine people? Who can drink a beer?
I don't drink the inferior product.
Crowd.
Yeah.
That person who can drink something and be like, that tastes like a sunny January summer day as you're rolling around and I don't know. Well,
Never heard of summer in January.
Flip
before.
side of the world, Australia.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting creative here.
That's the people who have that, and I hear craft beer drinkers always talk about what's good beer, what's bad beer. I also always thought craft beer was going to become a naughty word. Like it became the hipster thing, and it's going to be at some point everybody's like, all right, craft beer aside, man, give me back that Bud Light, and we'll stop drinking Pabst. Like it should have been initially. Dan, of all of our years, man, I've never really been educated. And I think you've tried to. It hasn't worked. And it may not work again tonight, but I want to do it with us here in the room. So I want you to explain your not only your beers, your vodka line, and tell us also about your whiskey line. And while you do that, we're just going to be pouring down the gullet. We got glasses all around, and just give us a little life lesson on what we got. And also, don't forget to tie it into the brew pub. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. You know, Riley's Brew Pub does exist. And if you're giving away presents, I didn't think about it. I've got a bunch of cards. People can start going to my pub and get some free burgers. So I should have brought you a punch. If you're gonna,
I'm poor.
I'd bring about 20 of them. I was thinking for your listeners,
could use a
but
burger.
okay. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. What was I thinking?
All right, my bad. My bad. Okay, call in 4920450 if you want to win a chance to watch me eat a free burger from Riley's Pub.
Yeah,
Just one?
That's where it's going. I see what it is. Hey, we're even doing one more. How many people are on right now?
4,000.
No, you're not that popular.
Only with my family because we're Mexican.
Oh, there you go.
We invited the wedding party.
I see. You have 3,990 Mexicans listening.
Yeah.
And 10 white people.
There's a lot of people going, man, I don't understand if it's not Corona or Bud Light Lime.
Oh, man.
Ponta la Pacifico.
Why did you let me do the Mexican accent? Damn it.
Get that sponsorship.
Yeah, Cerveza Perfecto, hey?
So give us this first one.
Okay, so, I didn't put them in the right order, so we'll just start with Sancha. Here, if I'm going to be chatting, someone else pour here.
That I get.
Who can pour beer?
I already did start with the Sancha.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So here we go. So we got the wedding ring opener, not just for picking up girls.
Wait, is that a special ring, or is that something I get to learn?
It's something you get to learn.
Oh,
You
marriage
just
sounds
need
better.
a wedding ring, and every beer is an instant opener.
Oh, man, I got to get married soon.
What?
What?
It's like a utility wedding ring.
That's it, exactly.
Where's
so
the knife at and the scissors?
Oh, that comes with time. You haven't got there yet. I've been 17 years into this.
You poor bastard.
That's good.
Honey, I love you.
That's
Don't
good.
listen to the guy behind the microphone.
She's learned that. By the way, funny thing about that. Once I asked, "Will you marry me?" and she said yes. 3 hours later, because she was in shock the whole time. I'm like, people are watching us. You should say something. I'm on my knee. Come on, babe. It's weird how fast that turned. Suddenly, she ran the finances in the house, and the towels started changing, and we were buying new sheets. And I'm like, what? It's been 4 years. All of a sudden, what? I guess I have to accept. So this first beer, the Sancha.
Sure. So here's at the corner. So anyway, Sancha is kind of our flagship beer. This is something this was like really the first beer. Vixen was actually the first beer we came out with. Sancha is that first beer that we really said, man, this just has legs. This people like it. We're going for it. It's a nice, crisp beer. I really started making it for my wife first. She was talking about craft beer and the big IPAs. So I wanted to make something that was crafty and yet still an easy drinker and, kind of fits all genders. So Sancha, by definition, is what's called a braggot, which means it's a half mead, half ale. So we just put a lot of lighter malts in it, and then we literally bring in honey from the Central Valley. So give you an example. We went through over 10,000 pounds of honey just last year. So we bring in drums of honey. The average batch of Sancha, depending on the density and blah, 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 without getting the chemical, we go through about 400 pounds of honey when we do a 40-barrel batch of Sancha. Wow. So it's actually, I think, 430-something, whatever it is, pounds. Like I said, next week. But we bring in raw honey, too. So the beehive, or the beekeepers, screwing that up. The beekeepers that come in, it's still got the wax in it. It's got the twigs in it. It's got bee parts in it. It's got everything. We want it absolutely raw. And then we add it in and we blend it. We truly make a pure mead. We start fermenting it. We blend them together.
Wait a minute.
So that is Sancha.
Bee parts.
Yeah, I mean, like
bee parts.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's as raw as it gets. It's right out of the hive. They strip it off the combs. They throw it in a barrel, and that's what I want. I don't want any processing to it. It's as raw as it gets.
I can't be that disgusted. You're allowed to have 1.7 cockroaches per box of cereal.
We filter it.
Oh,
by the time, so you get it that clear. You don't get it that clear. There's nothing. It's all.
There's a leg
out.
in mine.
Get a little surprise in the box, right?
Dan, how long does it take from very beginning until this thing is in a bottle? How long does that take?
Sancha, we run about 2 weeks, give or take. But for the most part, we check gravity and all the other good stuff. Sancha, of course, has Cascade hops in it, and the hops go in at boil, then we dry hop right at the end. But we're about 2 weeks out, then through the filter into a bright tank, cold crash it, carbonate it, and then into the bottling line. And we just got our new bottling line. Actually, on Facebook, I just put in all our new drains and everything got in. So now we're running. Theoretically, we run 100 bottles a minute. But with all the guys we have there, we run about 60, 65 bottles a minute. So on a good day, we can empty a 40-barrel tank, yeah.
Wow.
So we move a few thousand cases a month, yeah.
I call that my 20s.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Not really. There have been legends. So what is next up on deck?
Okay, so if that's Sancha, let's crack open Pineapple Mango Sancha.
And I realize where we're going tonight. So maybe pour a little less.
Oh, come
this
on.
segment is just gonna go like my work history.
Pass it around.
Okay.
Okay.
I do have a question for you as you're doing all this. From our history, glorious history that is Riley's. You fought the man and won, and you've done very well. You've grown to have the beer pub. There was a point where your beer wasn't good, or you were getting criticism about.
Oh yeah.
And this I found interesting, and please share.
Okay.
No,
so,
I mean.
I was waiting for yeah.
I'm sorry. Cotty's asking for. I got to listen to her.
I got you.
No, the beer snobs. You were saying okay, I had a Sancha and this sucks.
Yeah, really what it comes down to is what people want. The guys that were going out and gals, but mainly guys that were coming out and saying, "Man, where's this big IPA?" So we come out with Sancha and they, that's too light. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not an IPA, it's death. And social media is just this haven, I should say, for that. And they would get it. But in the big picture, we just listened and we said, okay, what do you want? What is that you really want? I mean, if my average drinker is going for this, and Sancha is our best-selling beer by far. And a lot of the craft guy, I don't want the biggest IPAs, but Sancha just keeps selling out really well. I mean, I think Save Mart's our largest chain we're in right now. We're all the way from Bakersfield now, all the way through Sacramento, and we're just getting picked up now in Reno and Sparks. So we're going actually now out of the state. So we continue to grow, and we're growing well, but we just learned that if we listen and focus on exactly what people want and pour out the samples, get opinions, throw away an ego, what is it you want us to do? And then we start brewing the beers and stay ahead of the trends. And when people say, I heard, X brand is the best thing out there right now. Okay, well, then we go buy it. We sit around, myself and Dan and Joseph, we are the brewers, we drink it, we say, okay, why is this so much better? Why is that the trend? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, sometimes we have a beer that's in the category, sometimes you don't. We say, okay, well, then let's make a beer which is hammered out right now. Hammered's our New England style IPA. And we said, well, great. Well, then let's make a New England style. And this has gotten great reception. People say, oh, that's perfect. And the hard root beer actually was the first king of that. We started finding out people wanted the sodas. So Not Your Father's, Best Damn, Coney Islands were all coming out. So we came up with the Riley's Hard Root Beer. We're proud to say that side by side, we outsell the other brands. We move a lot of hard root beer. Well, and that's
something I've seen from you, your brand. When we got started, 2015 together? Yeah.
Seems like forever with you.
I remember initially we'd had your beer here because this is how we do a show. We're not getting actual listeners. We just bring in people to sit in the peanut gallery and then we give them beer.
Right.
And they're all, what's Riley's? What is it? And they've never heard the name. Then it became, I've seen that. Then it's Riley's is really good. And now I'm seeing people who show up with cases of Riley's, like in a short period of time. I'm saying maybe 2015. In a short, relatively period of time, you've actually skyrocketed to being a very respectable, good beer that people are willing to take. And you're asking, you want to pay for beer for a night for a party? I can spend $6 and get 187 Bud Lights,
right?
Or I spend $9 and get this 12 or a 6-pack on some of your beers, or I'm
right,
sorry,
the big IPAs.
Yeah. And people are going your way, so
Sure.
I think that's a big one. Let's get another one opened.
Sure.
And
you got the pineapple mango, right? Everybody got a piece of that?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get to the cow, and then we'll move up to the IPAs, and then we'll finish the hard soda.
We're gonna hit the cow. Okay.
The cow. Whoops. Yep.
So you have employees of yours whose job it is to taste the beer. Are you hiring?
You would think it's that fun, but in reality, we started. The shop opens. Steel Structures opens at 6:30, so we're all there at 6:30. The brewery opens up at 7:30. There are times at 8:00 in the morning we're sitting around having a beer. And then there's 2 or 3 of us looking at each other. We're smelling it. We're tasting it. We're like, is it right? Do we need to blend it? Does it need more time? The gravity checks out right. Everything looks perfect on the numbers, but are we happy with it? Most of the time, we all agree. Occasionally, I'm not sure. And that happens maybe once a year. Then we pass it out. And then there is that rare circumstance, and I don't care who you are, what pro brewer you are, at some point you're going to lose a batch. Something goes wrong, whether it's an infection, whether we had a bad pitch, something goes wrong, you're like, man, it's just not there, and then you have to dump the whole thing out because you just cannot put bad beer out there. You do it one time, you are dead.
40-barrel tank, right?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of...
That's a lot of beer. Now, we've only had to do it one time in my life, but then you realize I cannot put anything out that's even subpar. We've won medals with a couple of our beers. Cougar got silver medal last year at the state fair. So we've got some good standards. No, you can't nick that away. And our sales just show it. Every year we just keep climbing. We just keep selling more and more. I think we had like a 30% growth. Last year. I'm looking at this year, and I haven't quite seen what the numbers are. We're up now, but we're only in month 8, so the year's not over yet. And we have 2 more brands coming out, finishing off this year. We haven't got the spirits line. So you just have to be on top. You have to listen to everybody, and then you have to be willing to say, it's not right. I just can't put it out there, and just suck it up and lose the money. You just cannot put anything if you're not a medal winner anymore, you're dead already. The standard now is winning medals.
So this show tonight, we were done, right? We threw out something that was not a medal winner, right?
What?
Sorry,
I took it.
I took what you said way too personal. Look, if you have any legitimate questions for Dan Riley and Riley's Brewing and all that stuff, hit us up 492-0450. And if you are in Pennsylvania, again, no, you were talking about medals, Dan. And this is one thing you hit a certain spot for me.
Okay.
Because my 20s. I was working up at the ski resort, and I was enjoying a lot of life. And my drink of choice, man, vodka. And I was a Grey Goose dude, and because I had to be high class. I was a bartender, and so I have to show it. I was the Kanye West of the mountains.
So you were a D-bag.
Yes. Absolutely.
Ew.
That's how I managed to find myself a green card wife.
Not me.
Oh. Wow. True story about me. But you...
I know, really.
I knew you for beer, Dan, and then out of nowhere you come in with vodka, which out of nowhere Cuddy goes, "Huh? Who's Dan? I'm in."
Yeah.
And tell us about the taste test, the medals and stuff, because that's where that led to.
Right. So the vodka is actually a spin-off of the hard root beer. You may find that like impossible to believe. Yeah. What? So the vodka, we had to get we decided that it wasn't good enough to just buy an extract or something. We made the hard root beer, which is why the hard root beer is all natural and we get such good praise for it. So we decided we're going to make all of our own extracts. So we bring in Madagascar vanilla bean. We bring in ginger root from either Hawaii or Thailand. We bring in the raw ingredients for all of our stuff. So I have a rectifier license, which allows me to distill. So we make 190 proof at the place. And then we put it in a Teflon bucket. We shred up all of the whatever it is we're going to make the extract from. Actually, at the wall of the pub, if you walk in, you'll see my two boys up there, and they were peeling ginger root because you have to get the skin off because it's bitter. So you have a spoon, and ginger root crawls all over the place. You got to hand peel that stuff.
Wow.
So if you're drinking ginger beer, that takes a lot of work to make ginger beer. Just letting you know when you're buying that stuff out.
Right.
And actually, if you're drinking it, my kid's probably responsible. That's their job, is to peel the ginger.
So enjoy it, damn it.
Enjoy it, yeah, dang.
A lot of hard work.
So we ended up, and then I looked and said, well, shoot, we got the license, and we're making such clean spirits going to sodas, might as well package vodka. So we played a little bit of time, and we've got all the other, water purification systems in place, and then we make a nice, smooth vodka, and then we entered it in some competitions, and the connoisseur competition, we got an 89. So we missed a gold medal by 1 point, and that puts us right on top of Grey Goose, Belvedere, Tito's. Yeah.
Wow.
Kettle One, we're right on top of them in quality. So if you've had it, if you take a little sip.
I've had Tito's. Somebody brought it over when we had a party, and I honestly love this one so much better.
We hold our head pride with this vodka. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
We are very happy with it.
Very smooth. That's a very smooth vodka.
That's what I said. No,
you are definitely right.
Yeah. I had a guy make a bet one time and said there was no alcohol in that vodka. And so we made a bet, and I poured some on, and I lit it, and sure enough, of course, it burned. I said, give me my $100. Where's my Benji? And he bet me there was no alcohol because it was so smooth. And he said, well, you win.
Hashtag where's my Benzie? Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we go.
I did the same thing. You did it smarter. I showed Gotti that high enough alcohol just lights on fire, but does no damage. So I poured it on my pants, and then I had a burn mark and a sore leg.
Yeah.
And by the way, from the internet, there's a certain Megan who was saying, "Looks like I'm picking Anthony up later." So yeah,
or Uber.
Maybe after this shot,
yeah.
Maybe after this shot, there might be. I might need a pickup.
We do have a spare bedroom, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You know what?
And if you find a sock on the door, then you'll know that he did get picked up. Yeah.
Oh God, no! I just cleaned it.
All right, we got.
There's a residue.
Yeah. Don't take a black light to that room. It's gonna look like a CSI episode.
No, he's been single in this house for a while. I wouldn't put a black light anywhere in this house.
Oh, it looked like the Blue Man Group got murdered in here.
Okay, serious moment.
I'm giving him a lot of credit.
In the entire history of the show, we've never allowed sound people to talk. But for this, IP4, otherwise known as Kyle, he's actually going to possibly get his own name.
He has a name?
He is going to get to take a shot of the vodka and an open mic. So do this smoothly and don't suck.
I'll try not to suck, but
okay.
Here we go. What I like is that when you smell it...
You're already sucking. God damn.
Oh, no, this is beautiful because a lot of people get choked up when they smell a liquor and they can't drink it after that. But when this runs by your nose, there's nothing.
And the shot.
Me like shot.
Yeah.
That is freaking amazing.
And what you don't know is that... I'm killing your mic.
Dangerous.
What you don't know is an hour from now, Kyle is going to be running down the street naked, just happy screaming Riley's. So,
hey, our
vodka... And I'll probably be
chasing
chasing him with an escoba. So
you get that free advertisement right there.
That's it. That's the advertising I want.
Yeah. Get him a banner to cover himself up.
Yeah.
Do we have any more?
Oh, yeah. I thought we were... I got lots more here, man. There's no way you're going to recover from this show.
No, we can't. I want to know about the whiskey.
Okay.
Let's wrap this up with that.
Okay. So, also we have our gin. And our gin, for if you're a gin drinker, our gin is actually getting higher marks than the vodka. So if you're drinking this, you're thinking how smooth and clean this is, our gin is actually getting higher marks. Like I said, Save Mart, Total Wine, some of these places have our stuff. The whiskey we just finished up, or we had our sampling. We pull it about every month or so. It's several years now in that dang tub.
Wow.
And today, or actually, I'm sorry, Monday, we just finally came back and said, you know what? It's there. We've got it. So we're getting all the glass and everything put together. We're going to start packaging out. We should have it in packages the end of next month if all goes right. And then I got to get the SKUs turned on to some of the stores and start getting out there for some of the stores. It'll be available. Hopefully, if your favorite bar or restaurant asks if they got Riley's whiskey or Riley's vodka, we'll be happy to supply it.
I will go to every single bar, every single grocery store if you make one promise to me.
What's that?
For your advertising campaign, Mila Kunis comes in and talks about your whiskey barrels. Mila Kunis comes in.
I'm in.
Okay,
I'm in.
And I got to be there for the shoot. Just make that happen.
As long as I'm there too.
Can you contact this person? I mean,
no, there's no physical contact whatsoever. That's the whole point.
I got to go way back on this. Yeah.
So I guess tonight the winner is Riley's. Right? That was our game.
Indeed, yes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Also, when you're looking forward for the whiskey profile, when we cut the whiskey with the water, is the same water profile as the vodka. So the whiskey is coming out that smooth.
Oh. I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your personal favorite way of drinking the vodka? Do you drink it, sip it straight? Do you...
Oh, I assume naked. But...
Okay. Other than that, what's
time to wrap up this segment. That's it.
If I'm just, it's all of these to me has a place. So it depends on how my day went, what's going on. Am I helping kids with homework? Does Dylan have math? Does DJ have Spanish? Whatever's going on. That's kind of as I graduate up and down.
Your wife came home in a mood.
Yeah, well, exactly. She's already home. Yeah.
Hey,
so she looks at me.
There,
she's like, "Oh, whatever, you jerk. All right, vodka it is."
I did that today. That's why I'm like,
just
hell
come in a mood.
Oh, she
Riley's
came
vodka?
home. Yeah, she came home in a mood.
Oh.
But I knew you were coming over, so I knew it'd be fine.
Now, honestly, if it's a vodka night, like I'm gonna sit back and whatever's on Netflix, or if I'm gonna watch every third episode of Game of Thrones or something like that, or I'm gonna play a video game that I do game a little bit off and on.
Oh, nice.
Then it's vodka rocks. It's usually a 3-ounce shot. Put in some ice and just take an hour and just take your time and sip it and just relax and chill. Mm-hmm. And usually by the time you get in with the vodka rocks, then you're ready for bed.
So you're hammered all day. That's what it is. Yeah. Just from morning, noon, and night, you are just hammered.
No, I'm telling you, when we drink in the morning, it's stressful. Like, you're like, is it right? Does it fit the profile? Is the color there? Is this? I mean, you've got to be on top of that stuff.
I know. When I show up at work at 8 a.m. drunk, it's because that day I woke up and it just sucked. Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
So think of it this way. You show up to work, right, at 7:30. You cannot drink coffee.
Who works?
You cannot have coffee all morning because it'll interrupt your taste buds. So you can't touch any coffee until after you've had your beer.
Can you have the
you said you're
California one? Does that count?
It's a milk stout. No,
all
but on a serious note, though, we when we sample, it sounds like goof off, but we take it very seriously. QC is huge to us. We make sure that our beer is exactly what we want it to be every time, so that you, whoever's the consumer, gets the highest quality product you can absolutely every time. So there's my...
Let me say this for someone, for anyone listening who's thinking maybe it's just a guy shilling his product, right? He's already fought the man, he's a millionaire and all that. Like, thinking that way. Dan, you are one of the most down-to-earth MFs ever. You're a military guy, you're a family guy, you are a community guy. You make beer not because I want to make money or whatever. You did it for fun, man. It's your side business.
It was a hobby that completely got out of control. I mean, one day I'm going to write a business plan. I haven't done it yet. But one day, but every year we keep growing, and I don't know what we're doing right or wrong. We keep going in the right direction. And I go back to, as a hobbyist, you want to be your best, right? That's what you take that time when you're painting that airplane or putting that boat together where your model is. That hobby then is you got to make the best, and people wanted more. The wife threw us out of the house because we got too big, and then we went to the shop, and then people wanted more. Hey, can I have this? And that's how we've grown. We've literally grown by listening to other people and making what people want, even when, as was Grandpa taught me way back in the day.
See, I've had the same idea. I just want to be the best that I can, and the show is not really proving any of that. I mean, myself.
Give it time. Give it time.
Let's take that quickie, right? That break. And no cigarette for those listening, because we're right back. 30 seconds. We're doing the finish up of the show, right? We got awards. The Dowdies.
The Dowdies.
Okay. Yes. I'll introduce what that is when we come back. This is the hashtag DDP. No. Sound guy already messed up.
You're back to IP4.
God.
Yeah,
damn it,
you lost
dude.
your name.
It's gotta
Kill
be the
that
Riley.
mic.
Kill him. That's what happens when you give him a shot.
Chris, help me out here. Do that thing that you do that helps me do this.
do this thing. So listen, I've got a bunch of hashtags, and I'm going to need you guys to start submitting these. If you're listening online at Longbox.FM, please send us your suggestions for hashtag of the night. You can get us on Facebook and, of course, hashtag DDP Live. I'm just going to throw this out there. If somebody has something to kind of follow up on this, that would be great. But I think Cuddy really got us off to a good start with some hashtags with hashtag acid titties. That's where we're going.
That was a good start.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
All
That's
right.
the Nobel Prize winner.
And we'll hit up the internet listeners and everything going on. It is the first hashtag DDP Live here, Longbox.FM Studios. We'll be back with the Dowdies. Thank you for hanging out tonight. You're tuned in to hashtag DDP Live here on Longbox.FM. It is the hashtag DDP Live here, live in Longbox.FM Studios, brought to you, of course, by Riley's. Dan Riley. Dan's beer, his vodka, his whiskey.
He brought it tonight.
His reason to make you or allow your marriage to succeed, because you're just so in the ether of not caring. And I'll put this out there too. If you call in right now, 492-0450, I will personally pay for a dinner between you and Dan Riley, minimum of $8 at Riley's Brew Pub.
Minimum, he said. Not
Yeah, he said, yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a catch-22, but yeah, if you call in, why not? It's our first show. I'm feeling. I've lost a job, so I have $8. I'm going to take it out of my son's tooth fairy fund, which was $8.
Mm-hmm. You
Wow,
understand what
pricey
minimum means, right?
Maximum.
Yeah.
I think you're a little backwards on that one.
Well, let's just go with this. Now, Chris, you are running now we're calling them the Dowdies, and this is because I know I will never get an award for anything in my life, so I might as well just name one after myself and let it go out. I'm gonna sit here in enjoyment while you do your thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot to get to tonight because hashtag of the night, there's been a lot of things flying around here. I gave you just a little sample with the hashtag acid titties, which is that's pretty tough to beat.
Just the tip, teasing
there
it.
You go.
Teasing
there
it.
you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Exactly. A lot of good things happening tonight. And Dowdy, you're in on this. We've got hashtag double downing.
Yeah.
That's you referring to a kid and a three-way with a couple of teachers,
That's
which
solid.
only you can make that joke.
Just
Thank you.
terrible.
That's it. We've got...
we all
Thanks for
thought
reminding us that happened.
I'm
Yeah.
going to mix things around just a little bit because some of these are going to intermix with some of the clam joke awards. All right, so some of these were some hashtags, and to that we owe a lot to Lindsey Vonn and Tiger Woods for making sure that iPhone camera was working. So we've got hashtag 3-iron. And I think you know which one that one belongs to, and then
You're a slut.
That didn't happen.
And hashtag scorched earth, which is going to refer to Lindsey Vonn. And if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, just run an internet search and be amazed.
Is that safe
Turn
for
off
work?
the adult guard.
Totally safe for work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it.
No problem. But my favorite hashtag of the night comes from right here, my boy Anthony, who says, when asked about, hey, the clam joke, or the clam joke, the Clambake, how confident do you feel in that? And it was, we'll see. Just, I don't know.
Can you specify exactly how many M's we have in that?
Yeah, 4 M's. It's H with 4 M's on that hashtag.
Okay,
all right.
perfect.
I'd say that's pretty accurate.
I love it when he's just oozing with confidence like that. It sells it.
Got to spread it to everyone. Got to make sure everyone's feeling it. Got that energy in the room.
R. Kelly did the same thing. So did Usher.
That's
Spread
it.
the love.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, okay, so worst joke of the night is mine. I own that one. I think the off the rails with. That's just a bad joke.
Yeah.
It was cheap. And I took it. And
so surprising. It's usually Dowdy that gets it.
Well, he was. I only trumped him because there was the paper bag joke. Hit the rewind, right? The paper bag joke. I don't think that got it.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
Yeah, just move on. Take your loss or your win. You don't need to drag me down.
It does balance out in this house because Connie had the best joke, I think. And that's look, with apologies to the Dower District, she did refer to it as the junk drawer that you don't want to clean out.
Totally meant it in a positive
Oh, that's a
way.
positive. That's a positive.
That's a compliment. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
All right.
You should feel grateful.
That's going in my wedding nuptials.
That's it,
you are
yes.
that junk drawer I never want to clean out.
That's it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's perfect. That should be in a Hallmark card.
Yeah.
Right? That's perfect. Perfect. I think the thing that I probably learned the most tonight was that Talic.
Yeah.
I've been shouting that around the house all week, and nothing has happened. And now I know why.
There.
She's still there.
Yeah.
They cling. They do.
Golly.
Yeah.
And then, and again, I just want to thank Lindsey Vaughn for showing us her internal organs.
God.
I can't. I'm just saying.
She's healthy.
God, no,
She's healthy.
That was a funnel, was it not?
There's no ding for that.
No, there's a ding.
I think that was her pancreas that we saw. Is that what that was?
You the cameras do so much these days.
Yeah, they add 10 pounds.
This is my life. The only girl in the room full of idiots.
Is that a compliment?
Except Dan Riley.
Yeah. The opinions of this show are not of Riley's Brewing.
That's right. Now listen, this doesn't really apply to a specific horrible human. It's really more of just a horrible number, and that number is 68.4 billion. Right? And that is the boondoggle that Californians have been suckered out of for this train, which brings us to the MVP of the night, and that's Dan Riley, of course, for bringing some attention to a topic that doesn't affect all of us in terms of having our property taken over, but those that it does affects them and impacts them in a very significant way. And so you're someone that stood up for what you believe in. You're standing there fighting for your business and for your property and for your legacy that you're building for yourself. But what you've given people here in this valley is an opportunity to believe that they can stand up and fight for themselves, and you've shown them proof that actually doing so, you can come out on top of that. And so you're our MVP of the night for that.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah.
Yep.
I know that's not a softball there. That Dan, you did it, and we had some talks on the phone where you sounded like it's going to go bad. You know, the nervousness, everything you have is just done. We even talked about, well, it's a good thing you have the brew pub. That's a new starting point from you. When you've lost everything, at least you have that, and that's how serious. And that's a real thing for anyone, man. You walk into a job like I did 2 weeks ago, and they tell you you're gone. Did I just lose that's some real shit. And dude, I'm so proud. I'm so happy that you tied.
Yeah, I'll take as high as a win. Yeah, you definitely had some of those phone calls with him. I'm like, man, I don't know what the hell. I'm freaking stressed out. Yeah. Now, they never saw that, and now I don't care if they see it or not because it's over now. But like I said, now I've seen what it takes. So I just want to, once again, I just want to encourage everybody else. If you're in that fight, just give me a call, shoot me a message, call up the EDC, go to the Madera County. I mean, there's lots of people out there. Do not do it alone. Mm-hmm. You do not want to do it alone. So I don't want to see anybody else. I don't even want to see my enemy go through what I went through. So that's my advice is just, reach out, get some help. We're all out there.
Fight the man.
Fight the man, you bet.
Fight the train.
No.
The machine, actually. There's a lot of women in there. Yeah.
Fight the train.
For all the white privilege capitalism that you're throwing down as you beat the man, you have a great offer, and you just wrote it down to me, but I want you to deliver it.
Okay, sure. So since it's the first edition, right? Mm-hmm. So what I like to do is all you got to do is send in your name and your address here on, I don't care what social media platform you have, and I'll sign up for coupons, and I'll mail out a bunch of coupons for free burgers at my place. So I don't care. I don't care if there's 100, 1,000. I don't care. I will sign them all, and I'll mail them out, and I'll make sure that everybody gets a set. So just come by Riley's Brewing and get a free burger.
This is where he's been drinking. And he thinks that we have 2 listeners. And tomorrow I'm like, okay, so Madera's coming to your place tomorrow.
I'm good with
His
that.
wife is texting him right now.
Stop!
That's it. Yeah, that's right. It's another 68.4 billion down.
Great. We beat HSR, and you just ran out of business with that statement. Good job.
Well, hey, so I got to put props though, because Mike Shrinian is my partner in the pub.
Not anymore.
And, and everybody knows that he's in the elbow room, so the food is that good. I mean, we got like a 4.8 out of 5. I mean, we are rocking it. So
I'm bad at going out, but I finally did, and I was texting you like, what do I get? And then you told me one thing, and then you suggested another. I'm like, dude, don't be my
Sorry.
girl.
Well, because the more I think, I'm like, man.
The super burrito, holy crap, man. $9, and I brought it home, and Cody got to eat the other half.
Yeah.
That was like 3 meals.
I wish I'd had the other half.
But that's a tri-tip.
Where question from the internet? Where do they message? Longbox?
Yeah, you. No,
okay.
Go ahead and you. I mean,
hit me up at anything Longbox, Dirty Dowdy, any all those things. I do check them. I don't respond normally, but I do check them because I'm a dick. Let's talk about what's coming up.
There's no disagreement.
Yeah,
everyone just radio silence.
I know. I was waiting for someone to be my hero.
Stating facts at this point.
We already had a hero tonight. Don't get greedy.
We got coming up. Next week, we're going to be talking about the homeless thing. We're going to have, I think, I'll know for sure tomorrow, Steve Brandow coming in. We're going to be talking about that. If not, I'll find someone really good. And it won't always be this serious. We're going to have Ken Lewis coming in because I'm hosting. I'm doing my first ever comedy hosting thing. I have to actually write out something to be funny, but not too funny, which I think I got. And that's going down, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Fulton 55, September 8th. Ken Lewis will be here. I've talked with Coyote. People know him. We are also apparently going to have... There's a certain Corey in Hollywood. Certain fame. Corey Feldman and the Angels are coming to Fresno. I'm hosting that, and we are going to get to interview Corey Feldman.
Beautiful.
Because why not, man? Talking about high-speed railroad and train wrecks, I'm in. God damn, I'm totally in on this. And you know what? We're really going to do everything we can to be in on the Valley to talk about serious subjects, to really be legit. Look, radio has limitations, or they have bias. You have podcasts who are lame or just absolutely fucking stupid. We're going to give you something better in every way possible, and that's my promise to you. That's what we're doing here. Hashtag DDP Live. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, dude. I'm stoked. I was calling Anthony. I was I ran up and hugged Nieto today at work. I'm just, God, it feels really good.
I didn't get a hug.
Well, yeah, because I got to keep levels low with you.
Oh, quiet down, drunk drawer.
Thank you.
There it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging out tonight. Please subscribe to YouTube, all that stuff. I'll try to find my own platform where I don't have to worry about censorship, because I think that could be a problem. But I've talked to Chris. Nieto is supposed to balance me on that.
Yeah, I'll try to rein you in.
Yeah, we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
It's a difficult feat.
Yeah, good luck to you.
Well, thank you, everyone.
That's why she's pouring the
As
drink.
I'm pouring.
Drink again.
Holy cow.
All right. This is Dowdy saying for everyone in the room, word.
Word.
You've been watching Hashtag DDP Live on Longbox.FM. The opinions expressed on Hashtag DDP Live aren't necessarily those of staff, management, or sponsors of Longbox.FM. If you have been offended in any way during this presentation, you should have turned it off long ago. Hashtag DDP Live is a presentation of Longbox.FM.